What's going on, y'all? It's Isaac of AllStar Lifestyle, young vegetarian sticking our face into this world. Listen, I got an incredible message for y'all today, something that just dawned on me. You know, we fresh off the press, and I want to go ahead and get into it. You know, I want people to understand that everything is a balance and there's a polarity to everything, right? We all know that for some degree. You know, there's love, there's hate, there's jealousy, there's admiration. You know the rest, right? Ketchup, mustard. But with this particular thing, I want you guys to be the coin, okay? And I'm gonna explain why. Most people are either heads or they're tails. And you can be heads, that's one side, you can be tails, that's the other side, but then you don't realize that there's a full other perspective, which is the third perspective, looking outside of it, is that you are the coin. A lot of people are stuck on the perception and opinions, entitlement, statements they create in this world, or to themselves, to other people, and just in general with choices that they make. They don't even see that there's a whole other perspective of looking at things, right? Now, people can even say there's no such thing as right or wrong, which in the grand scheme of things, there's not, but there is, though. But that's the truth of it all. Most people want to stay on one side and not see the other. Be closed-minded, be open-minded, or come whole, basically come home, come to yourself, and realize that you are both in some scenarios. You know, I can be closed-minded to a fighter being better than me in Super Smash Bros, you know, because I'm good. But, you know, I could be closed-minded to that because I'm like, nah. I can get too into the cockiness, maybe to the confidence, too into the bravado. And I want you to not only look at the perspective that you have. If you're always positive, look at their negatives and things, too. Not to say to be negative, but I notice a lot of people, they're very just too focused on the positivity. And now I'm starting to understand things and look at things from what don't I like. That doesn't make it negative. That also just says that I want to also look at the things that I don't like, per se. I don't like this type of fashion. I don't like this type of condiment on my burger. Oh, but I like this and I like that. You see, you can't have one thing without the other, right? And then when you come to whole, as in you look outside of yourself, you're on a rooftop view, penthouse perspectives, and you see it, you think to yourself, this is a beautiful thing. Because not only am I just one perspective, I'm not a one-dimensional, I'm not two-dimensional, I'm whole. And you will become three-dimensional, four-dimensional once you get out of that two-dimensional mindset of thinking that you are just one perspective. Staying in one place, whether it's complacency, whether that's in a perspective or as a mindset, whether that's in a limitation of getting women or working at a company for this amount of years because you're stuck on the stability of the finances, which is fine. I understand that if that's what you want. That comes another perspective, right? But what I'm saying that for is that if you stick to that part, you will never get to see the other side of what the mountain brings. Because if you only want to see the front cover, but you don't want to read what's inside the book, you will never receive answers or explore something new or go outside of yourself for an experience. Then when you get to the end, you're like, wow. You close the book. You're like, dang, this is exactly what it means to be whole. You had judgments when you seen the cover. You didn't want to read it at first. The polarity in both. You read it. You go through it, close the book, and you come out with a new perspective. That becomes the whole of everything. I'm saying this to say that you can have your own opinions. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how life goes. That's what this world is really made of, and decisions and your life in itself. But when you come to the realization of I am actually both and I am more than both because I can see above it and I can introspect and reflect on that part, you will begin to have an awareness and you will have another trust founding part with you. And the reason is you will have a trust, you build that trust because you start to see yourself for who you are. You see the opinions, you see the decisions, you see the laziness, the hobbies, actions that you make, and you realize, why do I make these actions, or where did these actions come from, or how did these actions surface? You see it, you say, wow, you accept it, and then on the outside of that part, you do something about it to change it. And this is what creates the coin. The coin can't be one thing without the other. Heads needs tails and tails needs heads. But what do each need? They need the actual coin itself together. And that's who you are.